First off, before we do our standard intro proceedings, it is to be known and to be expected. Vigilante won with a goddamn landslide. And, nothing else really had a chance to grow. Could be worse, could be better. It's pretty good. Now, we're gonna continue forward. And we're gonna make Izuku about 10. Now, Izuku at this point is, for all intensive, he is a very quiet individual. He keeps to himself. And most importantly, his intelligence is high. As I said prior, the whole tendril thing on his back is partially brain matter. Now, can he lose it? Oh, yes. Can it regenerate? Also, yes. Is it still going to basically turn him off for like a couple seconds? Very much so. Because that's a lot of brain. But for all intensive, Izuku is graduating fairly quickly through stuff. But it's weird when she hits age 10 and is properly allowed to go on the internet. Because he was 11th grade, like, about as smart as an 11, a 12, maybe 13-year-old. He hops on the internet and he goes and realizes his school has an online schooling feature where the only thing you need is your school ID to access, which he has access to, so he puts it in. He completes the year in 2 months. Now, to say that he gets straight A's is wrong. He was a B+ student the entire way through. None of his subjects fell below a B. Now, you might say Inko is shocked when she gets, essentially a slurry of report cards at the end of the month instead of, just one. So she talks to Izuku. She makes sure that he knows exactly what he's doing, and tells him there is time for him to go outside and do stuff. But Izuku is very quiet-minded. Like, don't get me wrong, he's cocky and he likes fighting. That is a thing he likes to do, but he hasn't fought yet, So he hasn't ever hit that adrenaline that hits you at its zenith, You feel me? So, over time, we're going to skip to when he's 14. He's halfway through high school. He's almost done with that shit at 14 years old. Because did he get lazy? Yes, but he also has went outside significantly more than usual. And people are afraid of the guy that's like, I don't know, 18. I mean, it looks like he's in his mid to late 20s and has the physique of someone that could flip a car with like a mild amount of struggle, right? Because we need to also realize Izuku's body is naturally becoming stronger because of some of the passive shit that he has gotten. Because it puts stress on his muscles and his bones significantly. Now, like I said in the last episode, he can control up to 6 immunities at a time. 2 of those immunities will always be filled by sleep, and, well, essentially sleep or exhaustion, or the other one, breathing. Now, most people would ask, why breathing? What does breathing do for the body? It transports oxygen to everything in your body. Make sure that it's tip-top shape. That's the kind of thing that's happening with him at a near constant basis. Because essentially, he's constantly getting more oxygen. Well, no, it's not more oxygen. It's less oxygen than the random person. So he's borderline grabbing mountain physique on accident. Oxygen is thinner / thicker, therefore, he's just becoming fucking huge. That, him physically being unable to feel tired feeds into him not needing to breathe. I want you guys to imagine someone that's actually stone-faced, chest not moving with breaths after a damn marathon. That's the type of business Izuku is on. He doesn't need to sleep. He does it because it's socially drilled into his head. He really does not need to sleep. It's just socially acceptable because he's a very loud individual. Because him trying to walk around is the equivalency of him just attempting to just hold his shit together. He is huge. He is borderline All Might size right now. He's like close to NG in All Might size. He is big and he is young. It's one day that Izuku's entire life falls short. Joker always said it takes one bad day. And for most people, he's correct. But instead of falling into this manic insanity, they hardened and became something else. It was 2 p.m. Izuku worried sick. His mother should have been home by... She should have been home by 9. She only works in the hero ward. Who's gonna piss off the lead nurse of the hero ward? But when the knock on the door came, and the news was told to him, to describe the 4 days of silence being the loudest thing that anyone has felt is difficult. To say that people didn't show up to the funeral would be like saying the sun would not rise in the morning. So many people. Famous people. Kamui Woods. Eraserhead. Miss Midnight. Present Mike. All the Modern Hero cast. Rocklock. She was mourned. But what everyone could tell with the silence of the child, that is in Japan, old enough to take care of himself, that does an online education, that will be able to be helped by the state directly, well, by the country directly, as well as gaining life insurance from Inko that blatantly Izuku didn't even know she had. A simple car accident. No villain fight. No drunk driver. A miscalculation. Someone sped. She had right away. She paid for it. Her son paid for it. The man in the car died as he flew through his windshield, splattering his skull on a guardrail. Inko's neck snapped on the impact of the airbag. There was fear, but instantaneous death. He couldn't say anything at the funeral. That day, with Eraser in the shadows, watching the boy that has done nothing but be silent at the shrine. He hears words. crawl up his spine and borderline mangle his skull. Aizawa would remember these words as the beginning of one of the most vicious humans to ever walk the earth. I need to go punch something really fucking hard. As he stood up from the shrine, bowed to it, apologized to his mother for cussing. She taught him better, and walked off. Aizawa, frozen in this state of surprise, shock, and subconscious fear. He would go down, pay his respects, and leave. People tried to get in contact with Izuku. Katsuki did. Izuku stayed in the apartment. He always made 2 plates of dinner, 2 plates of lunch. He ate them both. He hated the fact that he couldn't sleep. So one night, 2 days after, he went into the woods and raged, using his retractable blade to cut through trees. He walked home, 2 a.m. He wasn't tired. He couldn't be. And there was no reason to breathe. But to say that what he came across made his, well, rage spike would be a man right before him attempting to kill a woman for her belongings. With zero hesitation, two steps, and a sound that split the fucking skies. One loud crunch. Before the woman had a chance to open her eyes, the figure was gone. Nothing more than a red mist. She sees his eye on her left shoulder and screams, wails. As Izuku continues to walk. A third thing would be used and permanently sealed away. Something that most people need to, in his head, create calls, but he's fucked up. And if it wasn't for dumbasses, people would still be alive if they gave just a little bit more of a fuck about each other's lives. Maybe, just maybe. Maybe he would give a fuck. But now, and until I say otherwise, Izuku's empathy has been sealed. That night in Mizurufu, about 16 other incidents of people attempting to rob someone being viciously beaten or outright killed. One of these was an underground hero about to be shot in the face. The only reason that he would recognize who or what was there would be the look that came of rage and loss that he has seen before in himself, in Hasashi, in Nimori, the reckless wrath that is loss. Shota's ass got saved by a 16-year-old. And just as fast as he showed up, he was gone. Heroes were on their way, but they wouldn't make it in time. His backup. That is where we will end it, as Izuku will enter his home, hands partially covered in a mix of misted blood. And stare not at the TV, but at a large family portrait of Inko holding a bouncing child, 3 foot tall with very pale skin, green hair, and a smile that chased away the shadows in his mind, and a woman's eyes, and eyes of green, of hair that he would miss forever. Staring back at him as his body sleeps on the couch in an upright position. That is where we are ending our episode 1. I hope all of you have enjoyed. Like, comment, subscribe. Tell me how you believe this tragedy will play. I will see you later. And from Portland, Oregon, stay on top of those bills. 'Cause fuck, they're expensive.